little bit of time to get up to speed with the game as well. Leanne Sanderson, as a striker, how did you feel when you saw those changes? What on earth would be going through Alessia Russo and Rachel Daly's heads?
I've been there myself, not to be pulled in a World Cup final, but in a game when you get pulled at half time, it's the worst feeling unless you're injured. So I wasn't going to question Serena Wiegmann at all, because every time even last summer when she took off, Beth Mead and brought players in, I was like, why would she do that? And then we won the game against Spain, took off Frank Kirby as well. I think the decisions today, I don't think they were the reasons why we lost. I think we were outplayed for minute one. Second, Spain first to everything, second to everything. We were outplayed today, ultimately. But those decisions, Beth England came on in the 87th minute of normal time with 13 minutes of added on. That's not enough time, at all. You can see that. And I think taking off Alessia Russo makes absolutely no sense. Adrian makes a really good point there. We had no proven goal scorers. Yes, Lauren Hemp, but she's almost become a goal scorer, and she's been amazing during this tournament. But we just weren't anywhere near it today. We looked like the occasion got the better of us, and that's what happened. But I will say, fair play to the Lionesses. We got to the final, because I know it's going to be all doom and gloom now, Faye, and I don't want it to be the focus. We done well to get to this point. And Serena Wiegmann, we far exceeded expectations. But if you're critiquing those substitutions, absolutely, I have no idea what those types of substitutions are. You and me, Faye, know all too well Serena Wiegmann doesn't usually do that. Doesn't change her lineup and doesn't make substitutions at half time. And to follow on from what Adrian said, almost was second guessing herself. Someone should have been saying, why is Millie Bright going up so high up the field of play in that? She did it in the Euros last summer, but it might have worked then, but it's not going to work against a team like Spain. They are so good. They're some of the best players in the world in their team. And we just got outplayed today completely. They were better than us. All over the field of play were better than us.
I agree with you 100%. And I think this is the most frustrating thing, because I went into this game with such confidence that England had even got to the final, bearing in mind the ups and downs that they'd had throughout the tournament, the problems that they had coming into it with injuries, then all the solutions that Serena Wiegmann had provided. I thought, you know what? They have experienced every single type of thing going against them, and they've come out of it. And I expected them to do exactly the same today.
As England manager, it's the first time that Serena's been found wanting, I think, or to be seriously questioned about some of her decisions. And we're right to question those decisions. But Leanne makes a really good point. Leanne, you're spot on. Spain were superb. And I think that we've been unlucky, England, in that we've come up against the Spain side at a particular moment in time where they seemingly are in disarray, yet that appears to have galvanised the players who were in Australia for the World Cup. Bon Mati was untouchable today. I mean, she was almost literally untouchable. If she isn't the best player in the world right now, I'd love to know who is. That was an exceptional performance from her. But all that's been going on behind the scenes, all the trouble with the coach, all of that just seems to have brought Spain together and worked in their favour. And Leanne, from England's point of view, that's just unfortunate timing.
It is, and they're a different Spain team. Yes, there's 12 players that are missing, but you're right, it galvanised them. And it's interesting, we talk about England having off-the-field problems with obviously trying to fight for equal pay. I mean, this Spanish team have so many problems, and it has galvanised them. I feel for all the players, I really do, and I think you're right, Adrian. I think Serena Wiegmann, again, her team selection today, we can question that now. I will, because I think Lauren James should start these games. I think she's our best player. I think if you start in a 2 and it comes off, then absolutely. But you have to question that, because Lauren James is our most influential player. 3 goals, 3 assists during this tournament. Still up there as one of the top goal scorers and missed 2 games. So, bringing in Chloe Kelly and Lauren James, it was almost like they couldn't find their rhythm because the team was playing so badly. Kira Walsh didn't have her best game today, and that's almost like a domino effect on the rest of the team, because they look at Kira Walsh as a big responsibility for her, but they look at Kira Walsh as that player, like that quarterback of the team that can get everything going. And when she's not at it, the rest of them seem to kind of crumble. But taking off Alessia Russo at half time doesn't make sense to me. It never will make sense to me.
I'm watching the pictures of the Lionesses absolutely devastated on the pitch at Stadium Australia.
Losing man talent in Michael T freestyle season. Like and subscribe.
As you say, they were outplayed today, and I think that's what's going to hurt them most, actually.
Yeah, I said it the other day when Australia played against England. It was almost like the occasion got the better of Australia, because they didn't really up their tempo. They looked flat. I think we looked like that. And I looked in the lineup, you know, and walking out to the game. You could see, I thought, oh, the players look focused. Actually, maybe they were just absolutely nervous. You can do all this stuff off the field, you know, the mindset, what does it feel like? But it's managing your emotions. And it's amazing because I know the focus will be on Serena Wiegmann getting to 2 back-to-back World Cup finals and not winning, but she's taken teams that had no right to even be there in the first place to another level. So I'm going to focus on that for sure.
Yeah, I think we should focus on some of the positives actually, because it is a step further. They won the Euros, they've got to the final of a World Cup for the first time. That's a real positive to take. Bearing in mind everything coming into this tournament, everything they've contended throughout it as well, it's still positive. They're not going to be feeling that right at this moment. I'll be honest, I don't really feel like that right at this moment. But I think on reflection, yeah, I feel sick. On reflection, I think they will. So let's focus on some of the positives, and one of those in particular was Mary Earps, because let's be fair, this would not be a 1-0 scoreline without Mary Earps.
No, it wouldn't, and it was a fantastic save. I thought it was a poor penalty from Jenny Hermoso, probably the only thing she'd done wrong all game, and Mary Earps seemed to know exactly where she was going. And I think apart from the game against Colombia, when the ball from Santos went over her head, she's been exceptional, and that's why she's the best goalkeeper in the world. But I think, you know, fair play, we're seeing scenes of Alex Greenwood on our screen, getting stitched up on the field of play, coming straight back on. You know, that's the type of spirit this team has. But I feel for the players, after having that glimpse of success last summer, you feel it. It's one of the hardest moments when you lose a game like this and you're out there having to watch the trophy presentation happen. And sometimes that can find something within you that will make you think, I don't want this to happen again. The only thing that concerns me is that in 4 years, the other teams will come back stronger. USA will come back stronger, Germany, Brazil, Canada. Those teams will be stronger, and we have to grow from this, and we have to keep getting better.
You're right, it was a golden opportunity because so many of the big guns had gone out early, Leanne, you're spot on. And I think the Mary Earps save, listen, there's some who've got still pictures of her being off the line, I don't care, it was a brilliant save. And I thought that would inspire England to go on and dominate the game. And for about minute, 2 minutes, I thought Spain were all over the place. But fair play to Spain because they galvanised themselves again in the midst of missing a penalty, which would have seen the game off. That would have been it. In the midst of missing that, they got their calmness back, got their foot on the ball, and they did really well.
I think we can get some reaction from the tunnel. Our England reporter Courtney Sweetman-Kirk is at Stadium Australia. Who are you with, Courtney?
No one at the moment. We're still waiting. The players are out on the pitch. We're down here, obviously, absolutely devastated, and just listening to what you guys are saying. Maybe a little bit of a different feel inside the stadium. I think, look, you can argue, you know, over the changes that Serena Wiegmann has made, but I do think they look better in the second half. I'm not saying they look good, but they certainly looked better from the first half, which probably wasn't overly difficult from the way they got overrun. But I think there's a lot of players as well, regardless of the decisions that Serena Wiegmann made, were below par today. I think the occasion got to them, and sometimes that's something that you can't really manage, those individual players, and unfortunately there was a lot of them that didn't play to the potential today, and I think that's the overriding feeling that we've got at the moment.
Where do you think we lost the match?
I think in the midfield. I think it's, you know, I hate to pick out individual players, but it's probably the worst performance I've ever seen from Kieran Walsh, really. Normally she's the metronome, she's the one where normally she gets the ball and she's always in space, and it seems that, you know, Spain sort of got her number today when she was trying to get the ball and play forward. There was someone on her back, she was getting pickpocketed with the ball, and because then we didn't have that rhythm of going through Kira, we struggled to find a different way to play. And I do maybe agree with the fact that probably Beth England should have been brought on earlier, but as I say, I just unfortunately think we've hit a moment where there's you know, a majority of the players in the squad that, you know, wouldn't have played in the way that they wanted to, which is, you know, you never want that to happen on a World Cup final.
No, absolutely. We'll talk about Kira Walsh in a second, but there has been a goal at Carrow Road. Which way has it gone, Ian Abrahams?
2 goals, they've both gone to
1-0 defeat in the Women's World Cup. Spain are world champions, and Adrian Durham's just made a good point that we're actually talking about on the pod during the week whether or not Kira Walsh was actually fully fit. You've obviously seen her train, Courtney, been in and around the England camp. Was she fully fit?
I think so. I just think there's, as I say, not just her, there were so many players that seemed like the occasion got to them, and sometimes as well, you've got to hold your hands up and say Spain, from start to finish, were excellent today. They had absolutely everything. The way that they play out of tight spaces was absolutely ridiculous on 1 and 2 touch. And they were very, very good today, took their chance. And I think as well, we've got to remember, in terms of Nigeria, Colombia, at times we were exposed, and I think because of the level of those teams that we were playing, we didn't get punished so much, whereas I think what we've seen is a fantastic Spain side that got in those areas in between, sort of behind the wing backs, and then actually they've had the ability to be clinical, and end up getting it was only one in the end, but creating very, very good opportunities and finishing them off, whereas I think before that, as I say, there were teams that were getting in those positions and looked dangerous, but just didn't have the ability to put the final touches on it in the final third.
And it's fine margins, isn't it? I mean, I heard the thump of the crossbar when Lauren Hem hit it on the 16th minute. That goes in, and it changes the momentum shift of the game. And it's, we're talking millimetres.
Yeah, of course, and goals change games. That's the old saying, isn't it? But I think you've also got to remember, Pano Uelo's, she's hit the post. Mary Earps has made a couple of fantastic saves, obviously the penalty save and the one towards the end as well. So I think, yeah, it's unfortunate, and I think it's probably, throughout this tournament, it's just unfortunate the way that this sort of performance has come for England. I think throughout we've looked at them, the determination, they've found a way, whereas for me they looked at times lost on this pitch, and that's because again, Spain were just that good. I'll be honest, they blew me away, and I know how good this Spain team are and what they're capable of, but seeing it firsthand and the way that they play, 1 and 2 touching, they just didn't give England any opportunity to get into the game really.
No, it's definitely the best I've seen Spain play defensively in this tournament, without a shadow of a doubt. I think they learnt a massive lesson from that 4-0 schooling by Japan in the group stages. And Leanne Sanderson, we're just waiting for the trophy presentation. Unfortunately, it won't be Millie Bright stepping up to receive the World Cup and bring it home for England. They're going to be getting runners-up medals, the Lionesses. They look absolutely devastated on the pitch as they wait for that ceremony to take place with the Spain players celebrating all around them. How do you come back from something like this? Because we know the momentum that they've had the past year after winning the Euros. This is going to take a little while for them to reorganise themselves and get over, isn't it, psychologically?
Yeah, well, these ones definitely hurt. There's all these things in the back of your mind. There was already going to be a trophy victory parade in London on Tuesday. That's not going to be happening anymore. But I think sometimes, this defeat will hurt for a while. I was always, I hated losing, don't we all? And I was one of those players that really took losing really hard. So people need to galvanise, get around the players, because they'll be feeling it. Even the ones that haven't played, they've been there throughout the whole tournament. And being in the tournament when you haven't played any minutes is also a hard thing to do as well. So this team is still a good team. To become a great team, you have to sustain that type of success. We won the Euros, which is fantastic, but winning the World Cup is completely different. We saw today in this game, the players just wasn't at it. We didn't deserve to win today, Faye. We didn't. And this one hurts me. I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, I feel a bit sick. You know what I mean? Because I played for England myself 50 times and played in major tournaments, and I've been there when we've lost, in finals. But last summer, it felt like everything had changed. It felt like we have this, we find a way. You said it yourself, Faye. You felt like we were always going to find a way, and we just fell short. And you asked that question to Kira Walsh to Courtney Sweet-McKirk about Kira Walsh. I just don't think she had a good game. She looked fit in the last game, and we can all make excuses, but they were just better than us today. Hold your hands up sometimes and say, you know what, they were better than us.
4 years to use it to fuel them, but of course some of these players won't necessarily be playing for England in 4 years' time as they kind of come towards the end of their international careers. But the Euros in 2025 is going to be absolutely huge in Switzerland. They'll be defending their title. But it's a long way to wait, isn't it? And Adrian said it there. This was the opportunity. This was the chance for them. With all the big guns out, in inverted commas, it was such a wide open tournament. I don't know how they're going to sleep for the next few nights.
Yeah, and they probably won't. It's a long journey back from Australia, but these players, I would say they did their best. That's all you can ask for, but Spain were just better. I think over the whole tournament, when you look at everybody we played throughout, we had a decent run to the final when you think about it. Apart from Australia in the semis, playing in our group was a pretty easy group. We almost lost to Haiti in the first game, and people did say that underwhelming performances that happened. We haven't played at our best during this tournament, but we found a way to win against Colombia, against Australia, and then you think they just know how to get it over the line. Ultimately, if you don't have the quality, like in the game today, that's what's going to happen against Spain. They are so good. People go back and watch watch the game. I'll go back and watch the game in a few days because this one will hurt me.
A few
for
days. I was going to say,
You
I'm
know,
going to have to take a week.
I won't be able to. But when you watch them and you watch Spain, the way they have the ball, they never, ever, ever panic, the Spanish team. In the back line, I thought Carmona was exceptional. Paredes, they just never panic. And even when we were piling on the pressure, they always found a way. They're clever. They go down when the little slightest of touches. It's annoying, but it's game management. So fair play to Spain. They deserved it today.
And it's what we've